Well, very much one-way traffic in this round of 32 meeting between the current world #1 and former world champion Neil Robertson of Melbourne, Australia, and China's Wang Yuchen. Robertson coasting into a 3-0 lead, scoring heavily, and just 2 frames away from booking his place in the last 16.
Well, this is the last frame before the mid-session interval. About 15-20 minutes or so. Neil, of course, would like for it to be 4-0. Doesn't miss many of those from distance, but I think he's got away with it. He's covered the one with the black. I'm not sure whether this one will pass the blue into the yellow pocket. Might just have to play a safety here. He's covered things on the right-hand side, but there's a little tempter to the left corner, but Neil could chip off that red on the left cushion. Up and down with the cue ball. You've always got to avoid the double kisser with that shot. Well, the shaded area is the non-hitting area, but there is that red available, I think, and he could go through the gap with the cue ball. Well, again, he missed that one, which I expected him to get. He's normally very good from distance, Neil Robertson. Probably the best single ball potter in the game, apart from probably Mark Williams, I would suggest.
Well, I suppose Judd Trump would be in the argument.
Yep. Doesn't want that in. Oh dear.
I think the pockets must look like microdots to Wang right now, under enormous pressure. Really needs a few easy shots to try and get his cue arm going.
It's all good experience though, Phil, isn't it? Under the lights, you know, and on one of the match tables, or the match table. It's table 1, of course.
Well, it'll take a lot out of his victory over Joe Perry, that's for sure.
He'll be annoyed with that one.
Well, I talked about having 1 or 2 easy shots. He's got a nice easy opening red here, Wang, so perhaps an opportunity to get a few points on the board and get a bit of confidence. It was perilously close to staying out. Is he on the black? He is. Good shot.
Well, that's careless. I don't think he's landed on the red either. He put that much into the positional side, took his eye off the pot. But I think it's landed safe. Might be going for the double here. Unlucky. Well, I think he thought he got that.
Played it in the knowledge that he wouldn't be leaving anything easy for Wang.
But there is this red that you could take onto the green pocket. Well, it had to go in. That could prove to be expensive.
It's the kind of shot you don't really need when you've had so little table time and you're playing the best player in the world right now. In terms of the rankings, at least. Gettable, yes, but tricky, and played with the pressure of knowing your opponent will be back in if you miss.
Well, that's opened them up, but it was hoping that that cue ball might have just run through a little further. This is a tricky black here. There's a thin cut, and we've seen these missed on occasions. Well, as Wang sits in his chair, will he get another chance? Well, no. But that's a great shot. But Neil is slightly out of position here, so there's a possibility he could get another chance. Well, whichever one he takes on, it's got to be a good one to continue this break. Could play the one to the green pocket, and he's got one to the centre, also one to the corner down here, but none are easy. Well, he's having a look at this one now to the green pocket, and he could stun over for the yellow or the brown. He likes these sort of shots from this distance. But he's let me down. Well, he's played the cannon there, but I think he's okay. I think he's got one in the middle of the bunch here. Well, he's landed on it perfectly.
9.
Well, now then, can this young man just steal himself and steal this frame to make it 3-1 at the mid-session interval? It'll make him feel a lot better. Can't afford to miss anything, of course. There was the pressure there, of course, of playing the likes of Neil Robertson, but if you're going to progress
16.
in your chosen career, you have to take the big boys on. It's as simple as that.
17.
Yeah, so we talk about these players being so young and inexperienced and up and coming. It kind of puts into perspective what Ronnie O'Sullivan was achieving when he won the UK title before his 17th birthday.
Incredible.
And of course Stephen Hendry was the youngest ever world champion.
21.
Remains that way.
24.
In fact, I think did Stephen win his first title at 17 as well?
Ding Junhui, of course, won ranking titles before his 20th birthday. Still very much a contender for the big titles, now into his mid-20s. I guess the question everyone's asking is, when is the next Ding Junhui going to come along, a player of genuine world class who will challenge for the majors?
Well, it was Stephen Hendry that brought on the Scottish players, wasn't it, initially? And hopefully Ding Junhui, of course, captivated our audiences, and that's why we see so many good Chinese players now. But can they get to that same level? That is the question.
Well, Ding certainly set the bar very high.
32.
Won the China Open as a wild card, of course, beating the aforementioned Hendry in the final to really signal his intentions and underline his prodigious talent. Yet to win the big one, of course, the World Championship. Reached the semi-finals a couple of seasons back. But it's a tournament he's underachieved into this point. It's something I know he'll be very keen to address. Still got plenty of time. But a double UK champion is Ding. Won the Masters as well. By a distance, the finest player ever to emerge from Asia. Good red from Wang, but not ideally placed on the black. But at least he's in the frame.
Wang Yuchen, 33.
It's one he has to win if he's to stay in the match, you would think.
Well, hopefully he'll be trying to play dead weight onto those two reds that are together there, but this is not easy to get safe. It's got to be the perfect angle off the cushion and perfect weight. Well, he slid off them and he's left one onto the middle. He's trying to catch them fullish. So another chance here for Wang then. 2 in this fourth frame.
Well, you've just got to get those. Wasn't really that tough a pot. Didn't have to worry about playing for position. And to make matters worse, he's left the red that he attempted. Robertson very adept at getting these, usually. Well, it's all become a little bit scrappy in this fourth frame.
Well, that part of his game is normally very reliable, Phil, isn't it? But he's missed one or two in this frame already, from distance.
I don't think his long game has been quite as impressive in the last couple of seasons as it was 2 or 3 years ago. Still a wonderful player in amongst the bulls, of course, and I'm sure that's a temporary lapse, but it has been noticeable as Wang misses again that Robertson hasn't been nailing quite so many of those long reds as perhaps he did when he was winning the world title, for example, 2010. Won the China Open just before this year's World Championship. That was his 8th ranking title. Before suffering a surprise first round loss to Rob Milkins at the Crucible. Well, when you're 3-0 down, you need all the luck going. Wang apologising for the fluke, but it hasn't really benefited him to any great degree. Pretty spectacular one, though.
Good trick shot. Might just drop him behind the black here. Pink would be too risky. Even the black to take it on would be too risky.
This year's Crucible finalist Barry Hawkins is in action this morning against David Grace, and the Hawk, as he's known, is progressing very nicely. He also leads 3-0.
He's swooped. Well, he has taken on the black, and it's a great pot. Well done.
Terrific black. That should give him a bit of confidence. Yes, Hawkins, if he comes through that one, will play the winner of the Mark Allen-Ryan Day match for a place in the quarterfinals. Another good shot from Wang.
Well, he couldn't avoid the cannon on the blue, but he still has a shot on the yellow here. This is not guaranteed, though.
Wang Yuchen, 9.
16-year-old Wang then with a 31-point lead in this scrappy fourth frame.
A chance here, though, for Neil to get right back into this frame. Good red there.
1.
Well, this needs potting as well from there.
Very tough cueing because it's very straight and it's very tight to the side rail.
Yes, he can drop this in dead weight, though, and still leave himself the red to the centre. I don't know whether he can get through to the yellow, actually. If he can, that might be the better shot. Looks like he's playing the black, but how do you fancy that one off the side cushion? Has he got it? Oh, that was so close. They're never easy when you tucked under that side cushion. Good red, just needs good position here from black to red. He's got to avoid the yellow. If he does take the black, he's had a quick look at the pink. Needs to slow down. He might have just landed on this. Or has he gone a fraction too far? I think the body language says he's gone too far.
Well, that's a bit unlucky if he has. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, I don't think he can get to the potting angle here, Phil. He's going to have to play a safety. Ooh, that was a bit of a kick.
Well, that's an understatement. Huge kick there for Wang, but it hasn't hurt him particularly. Managed to get the cue ball to the baulk cushion. No surprise that Robertson's getting it cleaned after that dull thud of contact between cue and object ball. So 38 points the difference. And Zhu Ying really giving the red a good seeing to there. Perhaps there's something stuck on it rather than a bit of chalk. Should be well and truly polished by now. 43 left then. So not much margin for error here for Robertson. He's got to be careful.
Well, he caught the knuckle, which he didn't intend to do, of course, but it's not too bad. He hasn't really left anything on. Well, he had a go at that one, and he's left everything on.
Wow, that was bordering on casual from Robertson, given the state of the frame.
Worst case scenario, though, Philly knows it's going to be 3-1 at the interval. Could still be 4-0, but can Wang clinch the frame here? Should do.
Only needs the red. And the applause from the well-informed crowd will tell you that Robertson now needs snookers. So Wang will feel a lot better, particularly if he can just make absolutely certain with this brown. Not much had gone right for him in the first 3 frames. Heavily outscored, but he has one on the board now, and that will make the mid-session refreshment taste a little bit better. 15-minute break or so coming up.
Nine. 11.
Well, the thinnest of cuts sees the cue ball disappear into the yellow pocket, but Wang had long since won the frame. So the Chinese is on the board. He'll feel a lot better about life as a result of that, but Neil Robertson has played well in that early mini session to take a 3-1 lead. He still needs 2 more frames to progress to the round of 16.